one thing that is lurking, apparently Kenny Omega is getting closer to returning. They obviously set up him reigniting his feud with Kazuchika Okada before they did the whole thing where they stretchered him out, and he was in pretty bad shape. I'm stunned that he's apparently this close to being able to come back, but they think by this fall he might be ready to go and rekindle that feud. And that's a long storied thing, and adding new chapters to that is going to be pretty exciting, because that was probably the best opponent for each of those guys. They seemed to bring out the best in each other, and they had, you know, the hour-long draw. They had the 2 out of 3 falls match that went over an hour that was really great. They had a 30-minute match in the G1 that went kind of right down to the final 10 seconds before Omega won. And then there's the Wrestle Kingdom one, the first one that Okada won, that went about 50 minutes. It was the longest at the time until I think it was Ibushi and Jay White a couple of years ago went longer. But they have a long storied feud, and that's kind of already a built-in thing. We'll see how they retell some of those chapters or catch people up on it going into it. But that has the potential to be pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. I think, again, AEW could use Kenny Omega back as well too. That would be, you know, that could help him with a little bit of a ratings boost and stuff too. I hope when he comes back, I didn't like Kenny Omega as a heel. I can't buy him as a heel. The same thing with the Young Bucks. It's like, and the Young Bucks are kind of stuck in that spot, but I think both of those work better as baby faces. I can't. I think Kenny Omega will come back as a baby face. You know what I mean? Given especially people would want to cheer for him. You know what I mean? And that was the same sort of thing with the Young Bucks as well, where it's like you make them heel, and it's like I don't think it's natural for those guys to portray heels. I just don't think it's necessarily in their personalities. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying, but that didn't really work for me. So I would like to see those both kind of. I think, like I said, I think Kenny Omega is going to be a babyface when he comes back. The Bucks, whenever they switch them back, I don't know. They're kind of stuck in that spot, because you kind of can't really do that with FTR and Acclaim being, you know, baby faces. You can't really do that with them yet. But I think that should probably happen at some point in the near future too.
Yes, one thing to also keep an eye on as far as tag teams go, I don't know if this is imminent, but Kota Ibushi, who AEW did have a deal with, is back from his own injuries. He was active in Japan this weekend. He and Kenny Omega, of course, as a tag team, were pretty popular in New Japan when they had their last run together, and then in DDT they had kind of built a name for themselves. And one of the more fun tag team matches I saw in the 2018-2019 era was when they did the about an hour-long match of Ibushi and Omega versus the Young Bucks. So at some point I could see that happening again, because Ibushi's always been a baby face. I don't think he's ever been a heel. So if they wanted a natural way to use him at some point, that would be one. And I think, again, it's kind of already got a built-in story.